Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's 7:04 in the morning, West Coast time. It is the 20th of October, 2024. And it is the Weaver of John C. Rosemond, California. For those who are sleep deprived and emotionally screwed up, this one will grab you. We all thought that jobs would be sometimes hard to replace, and other jobs may not be as hard to replace. And we thought that maybe jobs could be glamorous, at least a long time ago. But imagine it within the last 30 years or more than that. Certain jobs are going downhill when it came down for finances, especially if you want to get into a nice, glamorous job. But discover that the job that you're getting into, you're going to have to fight like hell for over the peanuts. And I'm not kidding. I came across a news article that News Nation did and posted it several hours ago on this one. And this really pissed me off. You got airlines out there within the past year or less trying to, actually flight attendants, trying to strike for survival because they're not getting paid enough. Now, you're going to be asking me, wait, I thought this was high-paying, glamorous jobs. You'll be surprised that the guys making below $7.50 an hour, below, are fighting for peanuts. And when they're not flying, when they're not scheduled to fly, they got to do other jobs for survival. And some of those jobs aren't glamorous. Now, as I said before, News Nation this morning posted it several hours ago. Concerning about flight attendants starving to death. There's 3 airlines that they mentioned. Airline, Frontier, Spirit. Let's see, I think it was Alaska. The representatives of flight attendants who actually had a job that was so glamorous, you expect people to be highly paid for the good job. A driver at an Uber would make a little bit more money on that one. An Uber. Or fighting over scraps of food just to survive. To me, I'm listening to this stuff and I'm thinking, wait. This doesn't. Yeah, my dog's having a connection fit this morning. Even American Airlines. I came across a story while doing research on this one. Why aren't we hearing more about this one? June 8th, on this one particular story from Fortune magazine, I did an article posted on Yahoo Finance. Headline goes, American Airlines flight attendants say their pay is so low they fight for airplane meals to save money and sleep in their cars, and they're ready to strike. Unions. I'm not going to knock it against them. I want them to do this. Because if they're surviving barely on crumbs and on peanuts, literally, these guys are supposed to have been paid a decent wage, maybe like 40 or 50 theoretically, but it's like below what I'm getting for disability. And this is scary because if I wanted to be a flight attendant, hell, I couldn't even fit the damn profile. I'm too damn old and fat. I'm not young and perky. I'm not skinny enough to get through those damn aisles. Or get past people left and right. I'm one of those passengers you got to watch out for because I'll be sticking it out there. But that's me with my own situation here. I don't fly. But for those who fly, do they happen to know what kind of a job it takes to put yourself in a spam in a can flying so high in the altitude that you literally have to work yourself to death, literally, in order to pay for something? it goes beyond me because the social stigma and what was presented to people back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, hell, even the movie Airport, would show a bit of glamour for these flight attendants, and yet the reality is, even before COVID took, they were still striking and still trying to survive on limited wages. I'm coming across up to 2 months old articles. I'm digging in for research on this one. A flight attendant. We're not talking about a retail worker who's got to be working at a damn Walmart, who's got to fight for food stamps, because I've seen that happen too many times. You're working in a retail industry. Before Gavin Newsom tried to sign this law that was supposed to help out the food workers, and we got everything else going hell in a handbasket, you still have cashiers applying for food stamps, even though they're working a full-time job. I know, I did it. Part-time to full-time, and I was still getting food stamps because the salary wasn't keeping enough. And this one. It doesn't matter which particular news article, to me they're telling me the same thing. There are certain jobs out there that used to be glamorous, used to be high-paying, are no longer, or haven't been that way in decades. And yet, I came across one particular news article of this one lady running in for school education board. I don't know if she's going to get paid more for that one. She's been at the job for 14 years doing flight attendant work and supporting her family. And now she's on the ground and trying to fight for positions and ideas and stuff that she wants to make changes. And in order to do that, she's got to get herself into politics, which hopefully may be paying a hell of a lot better than what the money she was paying for, which still throws me off. You survive 14 years at being a flight attendant, doing one of the most highly demanded customer service jobs out there. At least that was touted a long time ago. But now it's not. A young kid in his 20s thought flight attendant was glamorous. And we didn't hear about enough of this thing. We didn't realize why there were strikes happening at certain airlines. Well, now I know why. Shareholders, stockholders, high officials in the airline industry is making more than what the workers are getting. It's no wonder we don't have more strikes going on. They'll be affecting everybody else up and down the coastline. It's hard enough trying to work on a pressurized spam in a can in the air, demanding customers who want anything and everything while they're traveling to and from short distances to long hauls. Yet someone to get the long hauls all the time, they're probably getting money, but the short hauls are getting shortchanged. Well, they have to qualify for food stamps. Food stamps. An airline attendant. But if you look at it, about 20,000. I qualify for food stamps. I'm under 20. Does that tell you something? I got my feet on the ground. I'm not traveling everywhere. I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm trying to pay the bills, worrying about the electricity. These attendants also have to worry about keeping a roof over their head, especially when they have family, or if it's just by themselves, finding a roof somewhere to stay under for a long while. Because when you're not flying, you're not getting paid for it. But if you are in a flight, then you've got a small paycheck coming. It's just as bad as working part-time at a retail hell. My advice, you better do your research on the jobs that you want to get. I mean thoroughly. And see what the wages are, not what the corporates are reporting. And talk to some of the other people that you really want to get into a business with. Because one of these days you might come across this situation and you're not going to be able to get out of it. And then people say, well, you chose to be that way. You just chose the job. Yeah, it would have been nice working in a job that you can actually work beyond minimum wage. I can't make a flippant joke about this one. I don't blame the airlines having conniption fits over this. They should. Especially if they're going to be paying them low wages for all the work that they're doing. I could throw in the I remember when stuff. Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of I remember whens when economy and the other jobs were held as sacrosanct or held up as glamorous. In our day and age, glamour's already gone a long time ago. Now it's just fight for survival on this one. Yeah, I was pissed off when I heard about this news story that News Nation did about several people across the board, about 3 or 4 airlines, and they're showing this. When I did a news search on this one, NPR first one came up. NPR.org. This was February of this year. Flight attendants don't start earning the money until they're in the air, and then they start accumulating. If the plane's still on ground and boarding, you're not getting money for it. You're just doing services for it. You really, really don't get the money on this one. You're not on a salary. You're on the clock. Clock starts when the wheels leave the ground, and that's when you get the poor money. But this is the news stories that we're reading because I hope this scares the hell out of people left and right. NPR it looks like it was doing a thorough job on theirs. I got to get some of these articles and post them into my video here because this stuff is massive reading material and it's necessary. I got to understand more and more why they're having salary issues, why they're striking for it. I understand it more and more. This is scary. Living on $20, or actually $20,000 a year is you barely get any food stamps out of that damn thing, if any. There's a certain threshold when it comes down for federal aid, when it comes down for Medicaid that you're getting. There's a dollar threshold that they need to meet on this one. Congress needs to do something, but they're not going to do it. States will try to do something about it, but the problem is they're stuck on the federal limits. Sorry, my dog wants me more. Mama, come here. We'll talk about this. Okay, that was just to grab you. A recent NPR story regarding a Boeing strike that they actually had. It was ongoing, and I didn't even hear anything about it because I was hearing mostly about the political clap and everything else going on. Apparently, Boeing had settled on a new deal. I'm still waiting for the computer to get my PDFs going. This was dated today, Actually, yesterday at 1:02 p.m. Boeing union is set to vote on a new contract deal, possibly ending a strike. Now, this is about the machinists. They reached a negotiated proposal for a new contract with the aerospace giant after a grueling 5-week strike that has battered both sides. Boeing. Big manufacturing. Well, that's something. At least these guys got something going on. And they're dealing with the International Association of Machinists. Yeah, but when it comes down for airlines, when you have employee strikes concerning about wage, you know this is going to be the hardest damn thing for the airliners, stewardess and stewards to do this, because the flight attendants are restricted by federal law. It's illegal for an airline worker to strike unless they get permission from the federal government. If the government ain't going to give them any permission, especially the Department of Transportation, they are out of it. They kept asking the government, and the government kept saying, on you. Everybody else in the entertainment industry and the unions, they strike because they're not under federal. But here's the thing concerning about the airlines. They're also governed under a federal. The workers are governed under a federal. But they need and they want the damn pay raise. It's going to be up to a screwed up Congress here to allow that to happen, to allow the Department of Transportation to give authorization to the unions. Yes, get those wages up. Meanwhile, they're going to be starving to death and eating your peanuts for their dinner. So anytime you go on the airlines, guys, make sure you save enough on your plate for the airliners to eat off of. And then you can blame Congress for it, literally.